Fast forward, any come over China, so age politics avenue. Political structure, training because making lines. And a jembre need to be exumo, need to be a raximus, and the AD can yam stress with my subscribe to the channel. Education ben so share now so answer into and can be unia young political highways. No, say a year deputy attorney general. It's me about one thing, Abeka, and Simbi afa a year. Afenyo markings so obekaya mribia demonstration course so ma odeni sa eka eye police ni bi na oboban na menoka say attorney general deputy attorney general the statement about bontin so say docket no ready mo afford the docket no and so the copy BS so mo de kononia menoka say eye empayfo atranse in semu omo boy chirma who be here says you ra so you only when you go any day ba she no so me say age politics but that's so what you mo in right na yendo mu
page we've just called from there, and he says, I can confirm that the docket on the Republic v. Alexander Afenyo Markin is at the office of the Attorney General awaiting prosecutorial review and decision. The case involves a complaint of an assault. He ends by saying the ye. Now, this comes shortly after that drama that unfolded surrounding the vetting of the Chief Justice nominee in Parliament. And while I hesitate to draw a link between them, I can also unsee it, right? Now, when he put this up, there is no clear indication of which assault case it is. Which is why I know you're asking yourself, how did we get here? I've got you covered. I've been tracking the lines back all the way to May, when that assault case on a police officer during the Save the Judiciary demonstration took place. Now let's go back into time and look at what I've been talking about. Well, that was also within that period that what is being called assault today happened. We know that since then a formal complaint was made by the officer in question after the incident. It triggered an investigation, but not before the minority leader released his own version of events in a statement. Let's take a look at that. Again, I'm taking you back memory lane. So this is from May as well, when the minority leader explained the version of, oh, look at that, very apt photograph. This was exactly how he was dressed on that day when they went out for the Save the Judiciary demonstration. And this is how he talked about the incident. As I approached the barricade without any provocation, a uniformed police officer stationed behind the barricade, Constable Forson, a tall, fair, heavily built officer, deliberately struck the left side of my chest. Now take note of this because it's really important, right? He says he struck the left side of my chest with the full force of his right palm, directly near my heart. He goes on to say that the impact of the hit dazed me and I was visibly shaken and short of breath. In that moment, I spontaneously protested his conduct, asking why he would seek to harm me. The inspector who was facilitating my access, along with other officers, quickly intervened and assisted me into a restricted area where I had to lean against the wall at the entrance of Parliament to prevent myself from collapsing. A National Service personnel from Parliament, whom I know, approached and offered me water 2 CID officers from Parliament also came to check on me and assisted me to a nearby security restroom where I lay down on a bench to stabilize. So that is the lawmakers' version of how events unfolded. You also saw the video of how events unfolded. Now there is a hint of an assault case or assault docket built against the leader. It's unclear when this assault docket will make its way to court. It's also unclear whether or not it has to do with this incident. But as we've been working the lines back, this is the only assault case that we know was brought against the Efutu lawmaker, Alexander Afenyo. And again, I want to go back and show you what the Deputy Attorney General has said about this incident just before we get to chat about it. Justice Shremsai, who is the Deputy Attorney General, put on his Facebook only hours ago that I can confirm that the docket on the case, the Republic v. Alexander Afenyo, is at the Office of the Attorney General, awaiting prosecutorial review and decision. Again, take note of that. He says it is awaiting prosecutorial review and a decision. The case involves a complaint of assault. Let's have a quick chat on the back of this. I still have with me Professor David Abdullahi, who is a governance expert. Joining the conversation now is Richard Kumado, who is a security analyst. I'll start off with Richard, since you're just joining us. You know, we've tried to connect the two incidents, the Deputy Attorney General's post on Facebook, and then the assault that took place back in May. If this be the two, if we are able to marry the two incidents, how do you feel about this development?
No, the police have actually announced recently that they've sent the docket to the Attorney General's department. So it was just today that Dr. Justice Said announced what he did on his Facebook. And so the police did this, not knowing what was going to happen today in Parliament. If we are connecting the dots, then probably somebody might have hinted the police that today this argument was going to take place, for which we are connecting the dots. Other than that, I can confidently say that the police announced to the whole world they've sent the docket to the Attorney General's department, not today, not yesterday.
Right, so we can confidently say, Richard, that assault case that the Deputy Attorney General talks about in his Facebook page has to do with Officer Forson's alleged assault, which was perpetrated by the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo, correct?
Yeah, definitely. This is about 6 months ago, and 6 months investigations. I think the police could have gone to court to prosecute. But remember, the Attorney General is the #1 prosecutor in this country. And so that is why they sent a docket to the Attorney General. If the Attorney General feels that the evidence in the docket supports prosecutorial decision, then that is what is going to happen. Other than that, for we as law enforcement officers who investigate issues such as assault, we have done our part, and the rest is to the Attorney General to take a decision. So the police should be taken out of this. Whatever happened in court today, they have finished their job.
I see. I'm going to move over now to David. And Prof, I hope you're still with us. Prof, again, I want you to look at the issue of timing, because then the minority leader is in Parliament, protesting the vetting of the acting Chief Justice and now Chief Justice nominee. When that dies down, there comes the Deputy Attorney General announcing a possible prosecutorial review and decision to be taken against him. Now, that timing, there's something wrong with it, isn't it?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I concur with Richard. This issue happened about 6 months or so ago, and it is now coming to the fore. But I will take it from another view, Kemeni. When you are a leader and the minority leader was a majority leader and is now a minority leader, he's a leader. And I think one thing you should understand when you're a leader is that no matter how much people are trying to, get under your skin, or even in cases where they're even trying to hurt you, you must, first of all, try as much as possible, to hold your peace. You don't react, because if you do react, then you are moving away from that realm of what a leader should do. Now, obviously, the security personnel, the police were there. If he was hit and he fell down or something like that, they would take up the case, and it would have been in his favor. In this particular case, I don't think the timing is the same. I don't think it is more of trying to get the minority speaker. But I must say, he's a lawyer. The minority speaker is a lawyer. I mean, the minority leader is a lawyer, and he understands that in law, assault or anything like that is against the law. As it is at now, and he has to go to a court of competent jurisdiction, and if he is found guilty, then he's not about the law. But if he's not found guilty, then I think it is right to his favor. But I would implore all leaders in this country and elsewhere, or all those who want to be leaders, should always make sure that you don't respond to, issues or things that try to get under your skin. Because you are a leader and you are being watched. You are living in a glass bowl. Everybody's looking at you. You have to be very, very careful.
Very well, Prof.
So that is all I have to say. Yes.
Very well. I want to come back to you, but just to re-emphasize the point that Richard has made earlier, that indeed we can link the two events, the police announcement of, sending the docket to the Attorney General's office, the Deputy Attorney General making an announcement today that, there's some kind of prosecutorial review or decision to be taken on an assault complaint against the minority leader. I want to, again, I go back into time, bring you that statement from the police on the 27th of June. If you could take a look at that real quick. Now, this is from the police when they say a footage showed Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin striking Corporal Forson Abel during the confrontation. On 6 May 2025, Forson Abel filed a formal assault complaint supported by a medical form and an occurrence extract. Now, this was done at the Tesano police station. We also know that several police officers on duty provided witness statements confirming Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin struck the officer without provocation. Honorable Afenyo Markin later filed a counter complaint alleging he was instead assaulted by the police. And again, we have gone through the chronology of events according to the minority leader. But the police also tells us they have CCTV footage apart from other officers corroborating the story of, Constable Forson Abel. They have CCTV footage of the incident as well. They've also seen media coverage of it as well, all in that statement the police released on this matter too. But Richard, that brings me to you. Again, if you could say that again for a good understanding, Dennis. But Richard, it brings me to you because while we look forward to the decision the Attorney General's office will take, this is good morale for the police. Why is that?
The aspect of our politics has been very violent. We've all complained about it. And that is why it's imperative that political leaders and political leadership will have to be circumspect when they are demonstrating and law enforcement officers have been assigned to them. It's unfortunate that authentication happened between him and the police officer. And it happened in the glare light of everybody. And in the days where the police have their own cameras and everybody have a phone that records many of these things and they could be used as admissible evidence against you at the court of law, it presupposes that each one of us, particularly those in leadership in whichever capacity, will have to be circumspect, will have to be decent in many of these things. I was a little bit not too happy, the reason being that this incident happened in Parliament, where the minority leader is a leader. So if you are demonstrating to parliament or issues about parliament and he's a leader, he has every right to enjoy privileges of the police. So to go against the police in the manner it happened, I think we need to look at it again. We are dividing ourselves too much and we are fighting over things that are not necessary.
Very well, gentlemen, I'm afraid I'm out of time, but I would have loved to know what example this will set, Prof. But we'll have to leave it here for now. Professor David Abdullah is a governance expert. Richard Kumado is a security analyst with extensive knowledge in national security affairs. And that's how we'll end, the conversation today as far as this is concerned. But remember, it will continue always, and perhaps from tonight in your homes and wherever you're watching us from. What we are going to do now...
Issues that are not correct, you are giving credence to the fact that they can take on your army, they can take on your police, and people will walk away free. There are certain specific persons who spoke, and there are certain choice of work that has gone ahead of this fight or these exercises in the field. And it is that is giving credence to certain people to do the very things they are doing. And that is why we say that security communication is very important. And the manner we prepare into the field is also very important. Proper preparation will always prevent poor performance. I can tell you for a fact that there's no militia group in this country that can overpower our military. Not even the special forces within the Ghana Police Service. If you look at it critically and you ask me to put my neck on the trail, I would say that it's not the duty and the responsibility of the only professor we have in physics, if not only. The only few professors we have in physics heading the UPA, considering the fact that she has come under fire recently because people were angry, she was doing foreign purchases and not local. And instead of them sticking their neck out and speak about procurement, they went about insulting her. I wouldn't put her in the field in the manner they did. And even if she's going to the field, it means that the levels of risks attached to her is very high. One of the issues I'm also seeing in the divergence of what they are doing is that they are not taking the risk assessment report we gave very seriously. For 5 years, we have done the nationwide national risk assessment, taking Galamsey as a menace and as a threat to the state. Once you overlook the risk assessment report, once you are not preparing properly, and once you are not using the local security intelligence community properly, you are likely to come under some level of entanglement or entrapment. And that is exactly what is happening. And that is exactly what we are seeing. I'm saying that when Hanabisu was ambushed, the president of the Republic of Ghana called all the teams to his office. And they have a very beautiful meeting. By December, when they are breaking, the president will need to have that same meeting with all the agencies in the fight against Galamsey. Let them establish their strengths and weaknesses. Let them critically look at the threat and the manner in which it's playing out there. And let them evaluate the resources they have. And let them examine the interagency collaborations again. Once you are not making use of all these tools at your disposal, then what we are saying is that you are going to have difficulties, and you don't need a prophet or a soothsayer to tell you. So it's unfortunate as it is, but these are law enforcement officers, and they know what to do. Once you have too many civilians within the area, and they wouldn't, listen to the law enforcement officers or allow them to lead, you are going to have some of these problems on our hand. But that does not mean that the law enforcement officers are weak and they don't know what to do. Once you also make the whole thing look like you pull in and you pull out, and you are playing hide and seek, and you are not showing presence and strength, then of course you are rationalizing bad behavior. And to the extent that people will commit crimes against the state and they will be let to go, no punishable of offenses will always rationalize bad behavior and promote antisocial tendencies. So this is where we are, and I think it can be fixed. The point I'm making is that yes, there will be challenges. Yes, there will be hindrances. Yes, there will be impediments. Yes, there will be one or two hiccups and setbacks. But so far, none must have done well. If the agencies can rally and they come to the same page and know that this is what is set for them to do, they will mobilize themselves and prepare properly. Because if they don't prepare, then some other onlookers might be waiting for them and they can take them on.
Maybe more directly on the community resistance that we are seeing outside the illegal miners. I mean, what should the approach be? Because we obviously cannot be arresting a lot of those people. A lot of the time it's more like a spontaneous protest that takes place. And it also does appear that the communities where the illegal mining is taking place, those residents support the illegal miners as against what appears to be the outside and general national conversation that this is something that we have to stop once and for all.
I can believe two things. You wake up in the morning and they said Ghana has been attacked by terrorists, and there are a group of people who support them. You think the Ghana army will be waiting and fold their arms? You see the counter-terrorism unit.
We ain't some who do because of channel, so I'm not so jimmy. That's it. Say, Obadi in India, do be a domain. You ever send shame, not your small quantity.